All right, so this is not real flight yet. So what I'm gonna do real quick is show you some of the cool stuff that was created ways back, ways back with Meow Meow and Marvimation. Meow Meow and Marvimation, the two companies that my idealism brought to its knees. Thanks to my idealism and wanting to create something that was cool and completely different from all the other businesses that were up and running at the time and at the current time as well, that work with labor laws and a bunch of other things. I wanted to create something that was unique and different and special in its own way, and I failed. I failed at it. I failed at it so bad with Marvimation and with Meow Meow. Those two companies tanked and became nothing. Nothing. They are nothing. Eventually, I was so angry with the whole thing, but also didn't want the whole thing to fall apart because in practice, it was a very cool ideal. So I left it off. I left those two companies in the hands of other people to continue to pursue, to use what I had created in order for them to promote themselves. And for a pretty long time, it worked well. And some of those amazing people went on to have amazing careers and stuff. So at least it was not a failure from that perspective. But anyway, let's go through some of the cool stuff here. And before I do, though, I will tell you one thing that's been very interesting. I don't know what it is, whether there is a virus or a bug, whatever, inside the computer. But one of my favorite, one of my favorite browsers for the internet was this thing that you'll see here at the bottom. I know you probably can't see it. I've got to not zoom, but walk down this thing so you guys can see where the arrow is pointing right here at the bottom. Opera. This is, let me see if it works. I can try clicking on it. This is the Opera browser. And usually this is where it leaves off. It just stays there and then that's it. So that was one of my favorite browsers. This particular version of the browser is the HD or the special browser. Anyway, I tried both of the browsers. They no longer install on my computer. So I can no longer use, for some reason, the Opera browser is not something that I can use anymore. So I've uninstalled the other one and I'm going to uninstall this one as well, because if they don't even run, what are you going to do with it, right? So we're going to have to use alternate browsers now. Who knew? Who knew this was going to be something that was going to happen? Anyway, just wanted to give you guys a heads up. At the current time, Horizon Hobby and Arma and eFlight with the eFlight Draco have these ornaments. And if you guys are fans of either of these companies and you're into these two cool vehicles, right now the price used to be around 20 bucks. It is now down to 10 bucks. Don't get fooled by the numbers, because that's what the math does. 9999 means it's still $9, but no, it's 10. Just saying. Just saying, guys. So anyway, I thought I'd show this to you guys in case you wanted to take a look at that. But now I'm going to dive into some of the stuff that was going on back in the day with Meow Meow, one of my companies, and the other company that I made, which was Marvimation. Both of which, as I said before, tanked because Eli the computer guy will tell you, and he was right. And again, as I said, if I had had Eli the computer guy as my instructor when I was going to school instead of some of the others that I had, and taught me a couple of things about legalese and business, my life would have been very different today. Perhaps today I could have been one of the Elon Musks or possibly Zuckerbergs of the world. Of course, not as fantastical and as successful as they, because I would not be. I have a certain sense of morality that is a little bit different from So my bottom line is a little bit different from those guys. So possibly not as rich as them, but I think that if I had Eli the computer guy as my instructor, I could be making somewhere between $200,000 and $300,000 per year. So 300K per year, somewhere around there. Not like lofty goals, like owning companies of crazy levels like Elon Musk, or not saying that kind of thing, but I could have been relatively successful. 300K. I think I could have had 300K as a coder somewhere. Maybe working at Twitter. The dying bird, chirp, tweet. Anyway, so yeah. Instead, I was an idealist with no understanding of business at all. I had not gone to a business school. I had nobody really to teach me about business. So I was on my own. And I created this company, Marvimation and Meow Meow. One was more focused on, clothing and stuff like that, creating fun artwork like that. Again, people will lie about me all the time. But if you go back and look at the real facts and the evidence, on my YouTube, on my Facebook, on all of the things, and especially on the company websites, I had everybody's faces and names and stuff who worked on the projects. So if you did me a solid and you did something for the company, I would have your back, and then I would help people on LinkedIn. For instance, this was my old LinkedIn. And on my old LinkedIn, I would take the time to give people reviews and help them with all kinds of stuff, especially finding jobs later on. If they worked for me, they did me a solid. They built a 3D model. They created an animation. They made a logo or whatever it was that was done for the company. I would then support them on LinkedIn. And if a company asked questions or had questions about how well they did and if they worked well with me, then I would make a recommendation letter. I would write a recommendation letter. I would speak volumes of how well they did, and all the evidence is still available online. So, it's not made up. It's just not made up stuff. But, people will say what they want. I was also on this ridiculous website, which is Fiverr, where I would attempt to sell some stuff. And again, there are gigs that I worked on. I worked with some people. And again, one of the things that you will always find, because I am a reviewer and customer service person first before anything else, is I always took care of the people who took care of me. So again, there will be things that you will find, but you can't really go with all the haters, because haters, again, there's one thing that you will learn in life, is that haters have the loudest voices. Haters have the loudest voices. So you will always hear about all the negativity, but you will never really hear much about the good stuff, because a lot of people just keep it to themselves. So anyway, again, this is my CG Trader account. As I've always explained, a lot of the models that you will find on here were created for the company, so in collaboration. And the deal was that I could sell them, and the person who created them could also sell them. Also, another thing that no other studio in the world would ever do is, while people were creating animations and stuff like that, they were allowed to use that stuff, any animatics, or even the final result of their animation could be on their YouTube portfolio, even when the animations that we were creating, the reels and stuff that we were creating for Marvimation or Meow Meow, were being sold and created, or whatever it is, to the general public through YouTube and stuff. So that's something that no other company ever has done. Why? Because people overprotect themselves and stuff, but also because in the real world, you need to be able to make money. And the concept with my idea was that everybody who, because there was no real monetary compensation, unless they were building some video games and specific models that I did not have time to make myself, or there were certain situations in which some people did get paid. But the majority of people who worked at Marvimation and Meow Meow were completely voluntary. So that is not really a job. The industry wants you to believe that if you are working for free, that's a job. It is not. Please, what that creates is what do you call it? A situation where there is envy, where there is just the wrong kind of environment. Because when you work for free and you're giving everything away for free, you are creating a situation of desperation for the people who actually want to be paid for the activity that they're doing. So don't do that. That if you've just graduated from school, look elsewhere. Look elsewhere. If a company, unless it's a really top company, like if Elon Musk at some point says, I need a runner, I need somebody to come and work for me on this particular project, and then he has it down in writing that they will say that you're a fantastic performer, blah 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 blah, and they have that all down in writing, and that could be useful for you as a stepping stone to your career, saying, hey, I worked under Elon Musk, hey, I worked under Mark Zuckerberg. That could be something that works. But generally speaking, if you're just doing something for free for a company, for a no-name thing, that sets a really bad example. And also, the companies themselves don't take people who just give away their services for free seriously in general. So that is just something that you want to worry about, because it is like a stigmata. Like they can put a stigmata on you saying, this is a guy that is willing to do everything for cheap or for free, and so then they never take you seriously going forward. So yeah, this was a company that I got to work with that I really enjoyed working for. It was Toga Developments. I don't know if it's still around, but back in the day, it was a pretty cool company. They had these cool home modular systems that they were planning to create, and in collaborations with FEMA. Sadly, as many companies do, things did not really work out, so they probably rebranded to something else and created something else eventually. Because the guy at the helm of that company knows about business, understands business, and therefore he's a good dude who was able to get his workers paid. Anyway, so then this was my company here, Marvimation, blah, blah, blah. It took a long time to create this logo. One of my awesome friends, Anwar Jackson created this awesome part of the logo right here, this image. That was his hard work. Most of the rest was something that I created. This here, and so on and so forth. Anyway, good times. Long time ago. Anyway, there are a lot of cool things still available here on YouTube that you guys can go check out. And again, you will notice that a lot of the things that I put on here will have names of the people who worked on it, and so on and so forth. But anyway, as I explained before in ample detail, and again, it's not work. If you volunteered to work and participate in all this cool stuff, then I was there to fight for you when you were looking for work and stuff. And I did stuff on LinkedIn for all the people who worked and who asked me for it as well. So there we go. There's a whole bunch of videos on here that you guys can go check out. Two of my favorite. One of this was the one that we did for Coca-Cola. Really, really fun video. And the other one was animated. Again, you look at that, animated by Jordan Miller. There were other animators that also helped here in creating this whole thing. And again, if you watch the full movie, which is available, I think, still on YouTube, but also on Vimeo. Does anybody use Vimeo anymore? Probably not. It's a dead platform. But anyway, on Vimeo, there's also the full thing with all the credits at the end. If you watch through to the end, you'll find the credits of pretty much everybody who worked on it, except for people who flaked out. If they flaked out, their name did not get put in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there were a lot of other ones that were pretty cool. There was Mafia Lady. There was No Good Deed Goes Unpunished. So, but the other one was for the Coca-Cola thing was the drink it or shake it. Drink it, don't shake it. Sorry, drink it, don't shake it. A lot of these things, I created the animatic or at least the script for these things, and then people helped me out to create stuff. I don't know why this one with Jordan Miller is. Oh, okay. Just put your mouse over it and it works. For some reason, the thumbnail. We have to ask Mark why the thumbnail is not working. I don't know. Hey Mark, why is the thumbnail not working? Who knows? This was here the commercial that was made. Again, this was made by studios. You'll see here, AnimeNet, whatever, helped out to create this commercial there. Again, I could have easily gone in there and removed that. I did not. Because I wanted them to take the credit for it. So lots of cool stuff. How we made the sets. There were animatics. There was a hunter rig that was created for. We did this. There was an animatic that was created for this in animation short, for hunter or hunted. Another thing that I devised within my horribly demented skull, and then was animated and created by cool 2D artists, but also 3D artists, which is why some of those models are now still available on CG Trader. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff available there. There was a ridiculous Evercraft that I created back in the day when I hadn't really played with too much technology, so I didn't really understand as much about flight and drones and all that stuff as I do today. So again, that's one of the things, right? You learn as you go. Here, there's plenty of other cool things. This here was a project. Again, we need to ask. Hey Mark. I tried to go in there and change this to 3D printed pen robot. It does not allow me to change untitled albums, so I don't know what that's all about. We could ask Mark Zuckerberg about it, but he won't reply to the emails or anything. Who knows? Anyway, lots of cool stuff over here. This is for instance, people don't believe me when I tell them I was not always vegan, and before I became vegan, like Negan. No, just kidding. This over here is a bunch of things that I cooked with meat and egg and stuff, pancakes, blah, 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 blah. I used to do a bunch of stuff and made it look pretty nice too. So yeah, that's another thing that I did for a hobby. For a while was just producing all kinds of stuff, and some of it was created just for the fun of it, to make it look good, but also hopefully some of it tastes pretty good too. Artwork, right? Artwork. Again, I am vegan now. I was not always vegan, and perhaps the reason why I am vegan now and my bowels are all messed up is because I overindulged in the meats. I had more steaks than most people would have in a day, sometimes up to 3 steaks in a day. Imagine what that does to your bowels. Anyway, here we go. This here was one of my favorite teachers in school, Colin Bowring. He taught me a bunch of stuff with ZBrush and low polygonal modeling, so that then you could put awesome extra features on top of it in ZBrush, because you don't want to put in a model that is like 1,000,000 polygons and then turn it into 1,000,000,000,000 polygons. What you want to do is create a really nice, cool model that is all quads and very well put together, just like things print better if they are created in quads and then turned into triangles by the machine. For 3D printing as well, nobody really knows that. Nobody ever shares that information. Nobody cares, because everybody creates everything in triangles, and sometimes that wigs out your machine. Again, my opinions are always unpopular. Nobody cares about my opinions, but I'm just sharing them with you. So anyway, Colin Bowring was one of my favorite instructors, and he did all these really cool things with bubbles. And who doesn't love bubbles too? So anyway, there was Tom Bertino, there was Sean Spitzer, a bunch of other amazing artists from the Academy of Art University. Again, love the teachers, didn't particularly love the school itself. The school itself was a mess, falling apart, didn't have a proper career center. So then when you graduate, you were on your own. But I loved the teachers that were there. So again, the same issue that I have with a lot of companies out there is they sometimes have amazing customer service people, but the people at the top, are just what they are. Again, lots of cool things that you guys can take a look at here. We had, this is one of the projects that I worked on thanks to Michael Kaywood, and I talked about him a lot as well. I worked with him. It was a pleasure to work with him and Gil and a bunch of awesome people over there. There was my friend James, a lot of awesome people that I got to meet over there. I talked about my other instructor and also office friend in another video, and I explained to you guys that he was successful. He went off to Asia to do cool stuff too. But anyway, this was another video that I got to work on. I created some stuff for this, but anyway, I was really lucky to end up in the credits for this movie. Michael Kaywood is just another one of those guys who goes beyond and above and beyond to help people in their careers. So anyway, Sir Billy the Vet is out, and that was something that we worked on in Glasgow together, but then also he had his own show, and I'm not sure if it shows up here anywhere, but I ended up in the credits for that too, which was really cool. Again, I was a Where's Waldo examiner on examiner.com that does not exist anymore. Experts column still exists. So experts column, you can still find stuff on some of the storylines and things that I created. Some of the scripts that I created are still on experts column if you want to take a look at those. But I am no longer on examiner.com because I don't think that website exists anymore. It is gone. Back in the day, I created a logo here called Freebook because I wanted Facebook to be freer. I'm sure that was pretty unpopular with Mark Zuckerberg and stuff. So throughout my career, I did piss off a considerable amount of people on all platforms in social media, which is maybe part of the reason why my videos did not really get to shown off too much, because again, I ticked off all the wrong people. There is Meow Meow here, another cool things that they were creating. Some of the awesome people that worked with me, some of the artists created some of the stuff there. There was the Dollar Bill Man that I wanted to put in one of the video games that we created. And again, a lot of other fun series, sets, and cool things that you guys can go and check out here again on Marvimation, all available for you guys to see. This was another one of my teachers, but this was back in the University of Kent in Canterbury. This was my teacher Lou Bretz, and I had another teacher which I explained, David Byers Brown, and again, I was convinced to go to the Academy of Arts University in San Francisco because he had previously gone there, and maybe it was better when he was there, but many years later it kind of sucked. So again, I can just tell you my experience. Again, he went there, he loved it, it was great, it did great wonders for him back in the day, when it was many years prior. When I went there, it was not so cool. So it is what it is. Here he is, Sir Champ, Sir Champ Ricafrente, an awesome puppy. We had awesome things that we created for him. A lot of these things that you see here are not created by us or Marvimation. He is Sir Champ, the real deal. But some of the cartoon bits and pieces you will find in here were created for the purposes of Sir Champ, and so very cute. Big fan of the artwork here, especially the animation. There was an artist and a couple of artists actually that worked on this project, and they made some really cool things. Again, on Twitter, we missed our opportunity because I was locked out of my account back during that time, and we wanted to do the Sir Champ animation and have in collaborations with Helen DeGeneres. She let us know about stuff. We were going to put it up on her Instagram and stuff, but I received the message of that after looking at the thing maybe like 10 years later. And by that time, this amazing puppy who has been a mascot for Irvine for the longest time had already passed on, which is super sad. Again, opportunities lost because of social media and social media being what it is. But it could have been better. It could have been better. We could have had some cool stuff. Again, if people want to pick up this cool artwork here and do more animations with this character, that would be awesome. If somebody wanted to do like a 3D printable version of this cool dog, that would be great. That would be really cool. And yeah, again, a lot of this stuff is created, and I created it for the purpose of showing other people's portfolios, making them known, helping them out. But again, the algorithms never really were in the favor of the company that the companies that I made. So things like, imagine, like, look at the cool artwork that we have here. This is really cool artwork. It's been out online for the longest time. Do you think it's as popular as it should be? No, it's not. It's just not. It should be. It's amazing artwork. Same as pretty much all the stuff that you see here. There were a lot of really good artists that worked and created 3D models that were impeccable. This is one of my favorites. This is still available on CG Trader. Impeccable work. And yeah, it's just did not turn out to be as popular as it should have. Did not have the right system to pave its way into the future. It just didn't. There were things that I did in collaboration with other artists. Again, was creating all these things that now you see like in Tesla models and a bunch of the newer models. I was already creating this stuff back 10, 15 years ago. I was creating stuff like this together with the help of amazing artists. Again, I can't stress that enough. I always do, but people will lie and say, "Oh, he was trying to take all the credit." I was never trying to take the credit. Look at this. You can still find this. This is one of those 3D prints that you see me walking around with on my other live streams showing you guys off. You can take this and 3D print it at home. Want to do it? No. Want to do something for the channel and make this further help the community and blah, 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 blah? No. Of course not. Look at all this cool artwork. Again, you guys can go and check out stuff. We had animatics and stuff done for Silent Racing. Silent Racing was supposed to be one of the coolest things out there. It never made it into full production. It never made it to full production. It was cool. It was amazing. It was fantastic. This is another guy who's amazing, Jan van Buten. I cannot say it correctly, but he made all these cool concept cars. Did anybody really get a chance to see his work? I hope so. I hope so. There was this other guy, amazing. I think it was Tan B. Again, can't say his name correctly. Awesome, cool things that he did for the company. We had this other thing that we were working on. This guy, Mike. Jeez, back to speech lessons for me. Mike Pascal. Mike Pascal did some really amazing artwork. I mean, look at the cool expressions that he's got here going on. He did an animatic with a transformer thing here. By the way, guys, this thing has been online for forever. This thing has been on Facebook for forever. If you have any skills at all, if you are the regular, what was his name? Magnum PI, you can go and check out and verify all the information. You will find that these things have been on the internet for the longest time. Nobody has ever cared. I'm just showing it off to show you guys that people were cool, and they worked together with us on stuff, and stuff happened, and it was pretty fantastic. Animatics that were put together, some in this kind of format, some in video format that I don't even own anymore because I deleted my first YouTube account. Why? Because nobody cared about it. I don't think it ever made it. It may have made it to 100 subscribers, maybe. That's probably the. I can't verify it because it doesn't exist anymore. I have no way to show you. I've got no record of all the stuff that I had before, other than it was created using the same email account that then got deleted as well, which I believe was pilatomarco@gmail.com. Again, another awesome guy, Brandon Chappell. He made Spoof. He made an anti-bullying cartoon. Very cool. This other guy here, I worked with him. He did some amazing stuff. We worked on a project with a Russian lady. Can't remember her name. I hope she's here somewhere. I think it's Helen Ruzanov, but again, I can't be sure, and hopefully I don't insult anybody by saying the wrong name. But anyway, really cool stuff. And again, a lot of these things that you see, this is the title of the script that I put together and then did stuff with it. I think a lot of this stuff is still available on Experts column. But that's all. So we had, I think it was, oh, there's another amazing artist here, Nitesh Jain. Again, I could have just put Marvimation everywhere. I could have, but I did not. Why? Because I was doing this to help promote some amazing artists. That was the idea. So here's another one right here, Jaspreet Dua. And then here, this was another thing that we did in collaboration with another company. And we were doing baby horoscope. And in this case, we were provided with the script and drawings to go with it. So also, that was part of the Arthur and the Rain stuff. We got some help on that. And so we were in collaboration with an Italian company. And then our stuff is supposed to be on their website too. Again, their company didn't get much promotion either. So, you know, that's why, again, as I said before, guys, if you are in any industry at all, do not sell yourself for zero money. Just don't do it. Don't do it. It undercuts the industry, because with the famous better, faster, cheaper, there's only so much down you can go, and eventually it is free. And once it becomes free, then what happens? It forces everybody to work harder, because you know what usually happens in those art companies is somebody shows up who is willing to work and do the same bit of work for less money, and then they just get rid of the guy who's getting paid more and just replace him with a guy who's willing to be paid less. But again, how far can you push it? Eventually it becomes you work for free. So it just, that's why society goes to hell, is because of that kind of system. So if you have a system that supports everything and everything is for free, that's one way to make it work. So that's why Prop 69 makes sense these days, because everything is going in that direction. If everything goes in that direction, then you need Prop 69 to bring things back to normal or normalcy, whatever. Anyway, so we had a bunch of other projects here. Again, as I said before, have always been a fan of all kinds of vehicles. My parents, for the longest time, had a Jeep, and I love Jeeps. Problem with Jeeps was that they were in the shop a lot. But the other thing was that eventually, in a world where everything was going towards gas power being more expensive, more pricey at the gallon, those cars tended to be more gas guzzling. So eventually we had to get rid of our Jeep and replaced it with, I think it was an Alfa Romeo. Smaller, of course, in every way, because and then, just life moves on. So I've always been a fan of Japan and stuff. I got to go to Japan with my dad when I was young and stuff. Always been into anime, martial arts and stuff, Asia and stuff in general. So you will find a lot of the stuff is somewhat of a crossbreed between Disney visuals and anime in here. So again, maybe it was way too early for its time back 10 or 15 years ago, but I guess it's very popular today. So maybe it will make a comeback. I don't know. Who cares? Who cares? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just showing you guys stuff so you guys hopefully won't make the same mistakes that I made when I was going into doing stuff. Again, some really cool artwork went into here. I created this. I used the reference from I think it was a Honda Civic and possibly some bits and pieces from CRV, whatever. And then I created this half moon concept, which you will find in all of my 3D printed and 3D printable vehicles. Again, it is now very popular, but it was not popular back in the day. Some people don't like that shape. There were some vehicles that were like this, but they were like minivans, so they were just not as cool. So the way that I made it, I want to say cooler. I want to say cooler, but somebody's gonna jump out and say something about it. But anyway, was to make something that is more sporty, more cool, like the CRZ. Again, this is another 3D printable model that you can get off of CG Trader, and this was another really cool project. Again, that was made together in collaboration with a good friend of mine, and I think that now he has one of my resin printers at some point. Maybe we'll see some cool content from him. Hopefully everything is good in his world too. So yeah, just lots of cool things that we've done. These were some of this is one of my first helicopters that I have, which I modified to be even better. Eventually I broke the thing. This is one of the helicopters that I gave away as a present to Steve. Hopefully he's having a good time with that. And again, lots of cool cars created, designs. Look at these cool designs by another artist that helped out with projects. There's just so much cool stuff. Again, this is another one that I created here. I was using some Alfa Romeo and some other bits and pieces to create this different kind of design. Eventually somebody made this car. I put it on Turbo Squid. Turbo Squid legally stole this vehicle, so I don't have this anymore. I think this one as well. I had a GTR that was built, stolen legally again. I'm going to tell you legally because I just didn't read the fine print. Read the fine print. Learn some legalese or you will be screwed over and over again. This is another cool vehicle that we had that was available on Turbo Squid, legally stolen. And this one too, definitely had this cool RAV4 that you could have 3D printed, again, legally stolen. Legally stolen, man, legally stolen. This is still available on CG Trader for you to download, possibly 3D print. That's still available. This is a helicopter model that belonged to me. Again, we had at least over 200 models, and they've just gone down and down. This model, again, was available in 3D printable. This Lambo Fusion thing that I created. You will find some pictures on the CG Trader that you can take a look at. Unfortunately, it is no longer available. It'd be cool if we could find some artists that wanted to work with us on projects. Again, if we would work on stuff together right now, it would be all done remotely over the internet like we did before. And then I would love to be able to 3D print a bunch of the things. If somebody wanted to make a 3D printable model of this or any of the other ones, especially that Lambo is really cool. If somebody wanted to make a 3D printable model of that Lambo and send me the file, I would try to 3D print it and stuff. Or you could 3D print it and then show me a cool and say, hey, look, we resurrected one of your designs. and look how cool it prints or something. Again, always willing to do stuff like that. We also had this really cool designed system here. We had a Ferrari. We had a Ferrari that looked like this. Look at this. I had it changed so that it had the half moon concept system to that too. This we have available. It is still available. And this one, I think, too, still available on CG Trader for you to download and 3D print. And this was one of my masterful designs. Again, we had a Corvette. We had this Lotus. We had this one. All of these concepts and stuff that we created and that I was all wanted to have 3D printable and also installed in that cool game that was supposed to help kids in schools as young as preschool. So we're talking about kids 2.5 years old, learn how to drive properly and possibly also park better, because that's one of the things that is not really taught so well when you go to driving school. It is up to you to learn those things. And I still struggle with those things now, but I think that if I had learned about angles and stuff, how to park correctly and stuff better as a young child, I wouldn't struggle with it so much today. Again, this is the cool Lambo that I was talking about, and then we also had a Prius in there. So all kinds of cool companies and cool cars and things that we created. And look at this. Look how cool this was. Somebody made some cool stickers to put on there. There you go. There you go. So anyway, I thought I'd show you guys some cool stuff from the past. A blast from the past. I'm going to close that real quick so I can show you the last thing, which was, I'm hoping that it will work this time. It was not working last time, but I'm going to try to get it to work this time. I'm going to stick in this thing right here, and hopefully it'll work there. If not, I'm going to have to mess around with it using the good old keyboard. But this was a cool video game that my buddy from Kenya helped me build. Again, this is one of the situations where he actually did get paid. We did not get so far because, again, okay, that's still too small. Let's make it just a little bit bigger. You have the options here. Again, this is one of the cool things that he did, is he gives you options for the quality as well of the game design. You could go on fantastic. We're going to do fastest because otherwise it won't even run. I'm going to put it on the highest setting there and see what that does. That's pretty big. That's workable. There we go. So this game came out before the book. So you guys saw the other live stream maybe. I've been reading from Tom Wong, Grandmaster Tom Wong's book. So his book was recently published and is now available on Amazon. Might as well just plug that in. But this video game was created, I don't know if it was 5 or 10 years ago. So, of course, the graphics are not going to be that good. And we were planning to do many other things, but the funding died out. I wanted to have Sifu Wong in here. I wanted to have his students in here. I wanted to have all kinds of cool stuff, including, like demonstrations of how to do sticky hands, demonstrations on how to do the proper Yongchuan or Wing Chun forms, bunch of cool stuff that I wanted in there. But we wanted to start this off and get more funding by showing off, like just doing like a typical Street Fighter thing. So it came with these 3 main characters. You could pick whatever you wanted, whether it was this chica or the muchacho over there. And and then I'm not sure if it still works or not. I don't know. I haven't played this in forever. But if it does, let's see. Can I move around? No, I cannot move around at all. The gamepad is working. I can kick. But I can't move. Oh, wait. For some reason, no. For some reason, I'm not able to move left, up, and down, and right. So maybe there's something that I need to do. I am able to do kicks and punches. I don't know. Maybe I will just use the keyboard. For some reason, even with the keyboard, oh, okay. The commands are wrong. So down is jump. That's great, guys. That's great, guys. Anyway, I need to get a hold of my friend there and see. I don't know which keys we used. I have to go look at the reference points. But anyway, you got punches and kicks, maybe. Can I still beat him? No, I don't know. I probably can't beat him. Anyway, so the point here was that we were going to have Marvimation 3D models in here, and not some random models that are currently in here. But you see the AI or whatever that he installed in there is working pretty well and beats the ever-loving poop of you if you don't know what you're doing. So that's one thing to look at. I don't remember how to get out of this thing now. Was there a button to go back? Start, select. I'm trying all the buttons here. Clearly, I should have thought of that before. When you want to run a demonstration, this is what you get. Da 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 da. Anyway, so yeah, we had these two games. So when people ask me like, well, what did you do in your life? Why are you so screwed up? Did you really try everything you possibly could? Yes, I tried to break into the video game industry. Yes, I tried to break into the Hollywood industry. Yes, I tried to, like, there's so many different industries that I tried to break into, and they all failed for me. Why? There's just a quality about me. There's just that special quality about me. Let's see. There's a debug mode. I didn't impossible random sound effects. I do not remember how to. Again, this is a long time. This has been a long time. I have not. This has been dormant. This has been dormant in my Dropbox for so many years. I haven't looked at it, so I don't remember how any of this thing works. I know some of the buttons don't work yet. You can do story mode, which is what we tried before. We could do training mode, and there are credits in here. And of course, they go to Tom Wong. Unfortunately, the graphics are not the best here, but anyway, Tom Wong and his students and everything like that. Again, the game was created way before his book was published. And again, there was never enough funding or care or interest in the stuff that we were doing. And this is why the project died. Luckily, his book has done better. Thank goodness. And again, Grandmaster Tom Wong never paid me a cent for any of this thing. This is something that I did and dedicated to him. Why? Because he does good stuff. That's why. So anyway, many years later, this is where we are. I don't actually remember that there was a way to change things, and maybe this was not the latest and greatest version of the game. This is maybe one of the versions of the game that wasn't completely finalized. Again, guys, this is, this has been like 10 years in the making and stuff. Again, not the best graphics in the world of today, but again, it did what it was supposed to do. And unfortunately, as I said before, and as Eli, the computer guy, will tell you, it is free to the end user, right? It was supposed to be free to the end user, but it was not free, as in all the money that was spent to create this game went directly into the game. And again, if you keep putting money into something, but no money keeps coming back to you, eventually you fail and you run out of money, or you just cannot find people to work on it. And again, I did not feel like at that point in time and stuff, I did not feel like I should ask my friend to keep working on the game for free, because again, he wasn't getting anything out of it, and he had a full-time job, family, and stuff going on. So I was not going to get him to work on stuff for free endlessly. So anyway, this is what this is all about. Thank you for watching. I will leave you with this image here of the game. If anybody wants to play the game, wants to take a look at the game, wants to partake in bettering the game, this or the other one, again, these are supposed to be simulators, and so much more can be done with this stuff. I could see if I could ask my good friend from Kenya to, I think his name is John. It's been a while again. If he could allow us to have the source code for this and the other game, I think both simulators could be very useful if worked on and improved upon and blah, 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 blah. So that at some point, you know, like again, as I said, I am here at this point willing to hand over the baton to someone else to say, hey, maybe you can get this to work because I completely failed at it. But you know, it was a worthwhile project. It's just that in the modern world and in the world the way that it is, a lot of these projects nobody cares about because they can't really monetize it. And so if you can't monetize it, it's not worth it, right? You gotta pay your mortgage. You gotta pay your water bill. You gotta pay your gas bill. You gotta pay your taxes. You gotta so if you can't monetize, what are you doing? It's something that kids can do when they're still sheltered and living at their parents' house and stuff. But once you move into the real world, that's when the fun ends. That's when the fun ends, and you got to do stuff. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope this video helps you in any way, and if it does, that's great. And if it doesn't, what can I do? I can only poo out information the way that I poo it out. So anyway, again, thanks for watching, and very soon I'm going to jump onto the real flights, and that'll be all for the day. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.